Hi, everybody. My name is Martha, and I am a certified death doula. That means that I help walk people home on their final journey by helping them make their arrangements and by sitting bedside in their final moments, even helping plan funeral arrangements when asked. As a death doula, I have spent a lot of time studying metaphysics and all about philosophy and religion and our relationship with death and how that can affect a better life. How studying about death can actually wake you up to the pure magic that is life. In this podcast, I use this podcast to talk about those concepts of living a better life by facing the realities of death and learning how to overcome our fears of death. Today, I want to talk about the power of belief. Our beliefs about death and dying, our beliefs about religion and how it plays in, our beliefs of heaven and hell, and our beliefs of God, and all of those things play into why we're so afraid of death and why that unknown, the great unknown, is frightening to us. So, in talking about beliefs, I think I want to start, I'm trying to figure out, what do I want to say about this? I think I want to start, the whole reason I wanted to talk about this was recently had dinner with some girlfriends who are not at all spiritual and who think I'm a little crazy because I am very spiritual. And in sitting with these ladies and just having dinner one night, one of them asked me about my death doula stuff, and as I was talking about it and telling her, I get excited about it, and I start, talking about all the different things that I'm learning or all the different ways that I'm helping a client or friend. And it just she just was like looking at me like I was nuts, like I had lost my ever-loving mind. And, while it kind of rolls off me, I wasn't personally offended, but it does always make me pause and reflect on why I believe what I believe. Why I believe so strongly, I guess, in my beliefs in the spirit world and my beliefs on what is on the other side of death and how beautiful it is and how it's not to fear. And so I kind of just wanted to, when I got home that night from dinner, I was like, am I crazy? I don't think so. Because why do I believe what I believe? So I wrote in my journal, why do I believe? Why do I believe so strongly and passionately about what I believe in, which is a very vibrant and active universe that is so much bigger and more than we mere humans can imagine, and how this life is but a dream. There have been so many artists and philosophers and great minds throughout history who have said that kind of thing of this life is but a dream. And you can make of it what you will. Albert Einstein has a quote that imagination is more important than knowledge because knowledge is limited and imagination is infinite. Great minds think alike. And so I'm in the company of great minds in my beliefs and thought patterns and experience. It really all comes down to my own personal experience interacting with this universe, which sounds crazy. And people look at me like I'm nuts. but I'm not. So I came home and I wrote in my journal, why in the world do I believe all this? And why am I so excited by it? And why does it, make me happy to talk about death? Death is very morbid and dark and dreary and horrific to most people. But to me, it's a blessing. And I can't wait to get on the other side of that veil. It's where my people are. And so in my journal, as I was writing in my journal, I was just going over all of the kind of life experiences that I've had. I know the spirit world exists. I interact with these mysteries. It's not just theoretical, and I'm not delusional, and I'm not crazy. The spirit world exists. God exists. Not how we always think he exists. We kind of try to stuff God in a box, or in a church, in a mosque, a synagogue. God's way bigger than any of that. But I started thinking about, in a larger context, what does belief really mean? Why do athletes spend so much time envisioning and believing in their abilities? And they kind of like believe that they can win that game, or they believe that they can jump that hurdle. And they have to believe it. And they have to believe in themselves, and they have to practice and do all the work. But at the end of the day, what does their coach say? Believe it. You can do this. You can do this. And when they believe it, they do miraculous things, and, things that we can't even begin to imagine that are real. So I wanted to, before I go into all my crazy stories, and you all know if you followed me, I got some stories. Spirit world ain't messing around with me. So I'll tell a few stories. But before I tell some stories, let's just talk about beliefs. So I looked up some information on beliefs and the power of believing, and how if you believe something and you do the work to study and practice and do all the things to make it physically possible, beliefs are not crazy. We all have them. We just use them in different ways. So, sorry, I'm right by my window and there's a glare on my glasses, so I hope you're okay. But let's talk about beliefs and different fields that, use beliefs all the time. So, psychology is one discipline that is proven the power of beliefs. The belief that individuals with self-efficacy are more likely to persist in the face of challenges. They set higher goals, and they achieve greater success. As I mentioned, athletes, have the power of belief all the time. If you think about in medical trials, the placebo effect. If you believe that you're getting medicine that will heal you, you're more likely to be healed than if you don't believe that you're getting the medicine that can heal you, whether you actually get the medicine or not. That belief, your power of your beliefs really, in real life, affect the outcomes. Philosophy is another discipline where beliefs are proven. It's not some hokey pokey woo-woo stuff. Philosophy, the power of belief, is often discussed in the context of the mind, body, the physicality of your beliefs. And the direct impact on our physical health and well-being. Again, the placebo effect that I mentioned. The power of your belief if you have a serious illness and you believe that you are going to overcome it, quite often your beliefs will give you the zhuzh to get over what is making you sick. I remember so well, my father and mother were professors at Baylor University, and there was a speaker who had come on campus, and we went to dinner. My parents had him over for dinner to our house, and he was speaking about this power belief randomly at dinner, a guest in our home. And he was talking about how a Buddhist monk had gotten in a motorcycle accident and broken like major bones all over his body, and how he, was laid in a hospital bed in full body traction. And, the next day when they came in, he was sitting up in bed in his lotus pose, meditating. And the doctors were like, wow, how are you even doing this? How are you doing this? It was his belief system, his belief that he could, that did. So physically, if you believe in yourself, then you can accomplish miraculous things. Spiritually, as I've mentioned, the power of belief is integral to your faith. And what you believe to overcome obstacles, that you are supported and that you are connected to something greater than yourself. Another Albert Einstein quote. I love Albert Einstein. He was so thoughtful. Not just brilliant, but thoughtful. He has a quote that says that there are two kinds of people in this world. Some people believe that the universe is hostile, and others believe that in a benevolent universe, that the universe is working in your favor. And both will be true. For whatever you believe, that's what will be true. And so your power of belief and changing your perspective on your beliefs is so huge, proven scientifically, that your belief system really affects the way that you go about this life in this world. So when I think back to that dinner where the lady is looking at me like I'm nuts because I'm talking about death doula stuff and all about, the afterlife, and anytime I ever tell anybody any of my weird spirit journeys or my lucid dreams, I've lost so many friends because people think I'm nuts. But I know too much not to believe. It's been proven to me that these things are real and that it's not just a belief. I don't even just believe it. I know it. So like when I think back to that look that she gave me, I can take that with grace and take that with understanding. I was mentioning to her about a breathwork journey that I had had and how my spirit guides had come to me and how I can see and interact with my spirit guides in a breathwork session. And she was just like, I can't even imagine that. That seems unreal. I can't even imagine what that would be like. And it just, it's so weird to me that people can't even imagine it. What are you talking about? Like, you don't have spirit, you don't interact with your spirit guides. What's the matter with you? You're missing out, lady. And it just seems so bizarre to me that so many people are so entrenched in this world, in this environment. And don't get me wrong, I am 1 foot in this world and 1 foot in the next. I will freely admit I am a broad thinker and a extremely spiritual person. So yeah, half the time I'm on the other side of the veil. But, when I'm in this world working and having conference calls and paying my, you know, homeowner's taxes, and, doing like regular stuff, mowing my lawn and, whatever. Yeah, I mean, yes, are we really here? Yes, we're really here. But also, are we really halfway over there? I think that a lot of people have blinders on and they don't want to think about it and they don't want to know. And if they want to know, they get scared when they look. So they put the blinders back on and call everybody crazy. But spirit leaders, shamans, mystics, philosophers, all throughout history have had ecstatic experiences with the spirit world. And if you've never opened your mind, opened your heart, had the courage to look into the abyss and see the abyss look back. If you have ever been interested to know why you're so scared and had the courage to face those fears and come out on the other side realizing the magic and the beauty and the bliss of pure love, it's worth it. It's worth it. It is worth it. So I'm going to talk to you about some of my crazy stories about things that have happened to me in my life for a reason that I cannot deny it. It's just, these things happen. These things are real. One of them is kind of almost a practical story. It is a story of how I manifested a job. So I used to be an Oracle consultant. I've always been in the technology consulting industry. And I used to work for an Oracle consulting company. And over nearby the Oracle offices in Irving, Texas, there is the Verizon campus, the large telecom company. Verizon has a very large campus here in Dallas area. And I was over there at the Oracle offices, and I decided I wanted to drive by the Verizon campus because I have always had a interest in working in the telecom space because I am a communicator. Is what I do. It's what gets me excited is communicating with others, and I always wanted to be in the telecom industry to help grow the technology around communication. So I drove by the big Verizon campus, and there's a driveway. It's right over by one of the golf courses over there, and it's a beautiful area and big long driveway to drive into the campus and drive up to the headquarters. And I was just driving by. I was doing a drive-by. And as I was driving through the beautiful campus over there, I was like, yeah, I want to work here. I want to figure out how I can work here. Threw that out to the universe. Not even intentionally. I was just thinking that, yes, this would be nice. I want to work here. Well, a couple of months later, I got laid off from my Oracle company. They went out of business and got laid off. And randomly, a recruiter called me with the opportunity of Verizon. And I went into that interview really not having exactly the exact experience that they were looking for, but I kind of just talked my way into the job, and lo and behold, within a few short months, I was working at that office. I didn't even go and try to apply. I had a recruiter call me off the internet. So that's a little thing, maybe. That's maybe there's all this manifestation, the secret and all that stuff. But the power of belief and believing in myself that I could do that and that I could work there, and I would like to work there. And it happened. I think I made that happen. But those kind of things happen in my life. It's been a very bizarre life that I've lived. But then there's all the dreams and all the lucid dreams. When I say dreams, yes, sometimes I will have a dream that's, I wake up and might remember a little bit about a dream. But when I have a lucid dream, that is an experience. That is, it's not a dream. It feels real. It's really happened on some dimensionality. And it's usually a lesson preparing me for my next trial and tribulation. So when I have a lucid dream, yeah, that's direct contact with spirit guides and with the spirit world, which I believe we do every night. I think that's what we do when we sleep. Every night, I think we have those, but you don't always remember them. You don't always remember, most nights I don't remember my dreams. But when I do wake up and I'm like, whoa, and I remember everything about it, that's when I know that's the lucid dream, and that was a direct contact with my spirit guides. And some of them are scary. And some of them are beautiful, but they're always a lesson. They're always teaching me something that I will need in the future. And I've just had so many ever since I was a little girl, ever since I was 5. I think I told you guys the story in another podcast earlier. I fell off the monkey bars and got a bad concussion and had a near-death experience. And I remember walking into the vast abyss of blackness towards a bright light ahead of me. And my angel came and stopped me and told me it was not my time. I'm not supposed to be here yet. She was laughing like this, like, silly girl. Go back to your mom and dad. And then I woke up in a hospital bed with my parents leaning over me. So that'll, having that kind of experience in kindergarten. Was I in kindergarten or first grade? I think I must have been in first grade when that happened. That'll wake you up. That definitely got my attention. And after that, somehow that opened me wide open to have all sorts of experiences. And I had a lot of scary experiences with monsters and werewolves and like all kinds of things that, you think children are just like, there's a monster in my closet and all that kind of stuff. But I had it felt very real experiences as a child. And so that will make you believe. And then all through my life, I remember when I was about 10 and I had Jesus and Mary Magdalene came and sat down in the room with me, my room, and told me all about Jesus and why he sacrificed himself for our sins and what that meant, and the more like metaphysical reasons that story exists. And that was my baptism conversion moment. It felt very real. And I know it sounds delusional. I hear that in this world, in this limited 3D reality that we are living in on this planet, that seems so freaky. And that seems like I've lost my ever-loving mind. But it really happened. And it really happened over and over and over again. I have a Indigenous Native American guide who came to me and taught me all about how plants convert energy from the sun, and their cells convert the energy into plant material. And then I studied it later in school, and I was like, oh, I already know about photosynthesis. And yeah, I already know about that. Because he came and sat with me and told me all about it. I mean, he also told me the meaning of life. The meaning of life. Sat with me, talked me all the way through it. It's really very easy. Love God. Love yourself. Love others. In that order. You have to love God in order to realize that you are God. And only when you love yourself and you get rid of all the junk in your own life that you find out that you are love, only then can you truly, really love others. Huh. How about that? He taught me the meaning of life when I was like in high school. Whew. So like these things just happened to me, and it's all because I got activated, awoken, had a near-death experience, and then I was tuned in, tapped in. It's like grabbing a main line, an electrical cord. Only now I am the main line. My heart is open to receive the universe. And it happens all the time now. And now it's not scary at all. I walk this earth with this universe as me and me through me. And so when I talk about beliefs and knowing that the process of dying is scary, still scares me. I don't want pain. I don't want diarrhea. I don't want, to not be able to breathe. That still scares me. But the act of dying and going over to the other side, woo, 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 I can't wait. Get over to my people. And the belief that I know, it's more than a belief, we are infinite beings of light, and you don't just stop. At the end of it, it's a never-ending journey of discovery and learning about how to love what you think is unlovable, how to have unconditional love, always, in all ways. And you just keep getting experiences after experience. Can you love this? Can you love me now? Can you love this? Can you love this? How do you love this? How do you show tough love? The difference between discerning between what needs love now and what maybe needs to go off and you shoo away so that you can both grow to come back in another life and try it again. All kinds of lessons. And these things just happen. And these dreams that I know are real happen. These experiences in real life. Ooh, one more story about like real life experiences. In real life, I went skydiving and almost died in real life. It really happened. And that night in my dream, I had a lucid dream. My spirit guides came and they're like, yeah, it was us. We saved you. We made the wind stop because you were going to get dragged off. In real life. That really happened. Now, some people might say, you're just like making up stories about you just got lucky. Maybe. But maybe not. I mean, when they tell me, when they show me, when they help teach me the lesson and prove it to me, then I believe. There's so many things that have happened and that will happen when they show me. hints about the future. They don't show me a lot about the future, but they'll show me hints about the future. Like right now, we're living in a hugely energetic time where a lot of people are being tested on their beliefs, tested on their beliefs of the solidity and rigidity of what they think political situations should be. And we are being tested on what if it's not that way? What if it's not the way that you think it is? There's a lot of change and transformation happening right now in all of our beliefs, in our religious beliefs, in our political beliefs, in our internal beliefs about ourselves, in our beliefs of who we are, what we think we are. And I would just say that, I always tell my cats, I have 2 cats and I love them. And whenever they come and beg for a treat, I always tell them, the answer is always yes. You always get a treat. The answer is always yes, because I'm a sucker. But that answer is always yes. Is how the universe responds to your beliefs. So if you believe that you're a piece of shit and that you deserve crap because you're a piece of shit and that you can't ever do anything right and that you're pathetic and unlovable, okay, the answer is always yes. If that's what you want in your reality, okay, here, universe serves you more. If you believe that you are an infinite being of love and light, here to shed light for others to find their way out of the darkness, okay, here's more. The answer is always yes. The universe will give you what you truly believe. And that's kind of the trick and the hint and the magic of all of that manifestation stuff. If you believe it, the answer is always yes. Just like Einstein, if you believe that you live in a hostile universe, then okay, you will live in a hostile universe. If you believe that the universe is always working in your favor for the highest good of all beings, then you will live in a universe that is always working in the highest good for all beings. The answer is always yes to whatever you believe. If you believe that you are just a tiny human living in a tiny house in a tiny country in a tiny piece of the world, then you will be that. Yes, okay, you will be that. If you believe that you're an infinite being made of the very fabric of this universe, and that there are no limitations in this world or the next, then yes, you will be that. So, in summary, this is just a little talk about believing. Believing in who you are and what you can do. Believing in the power of that belief. Believing it in your bones. I used to tell my dad, who was very ill for a long time. He had Alzheimer's. And I wanted to make sure that he remembered me, that he knew who I was. So I'd grab his hand and I'd say, Daddy, I want you to feel it in your bones. I love you. Even when you don't remember. Remember it in your bones. I love you. That's the kind of belief I'm talking about. Like, feel it in your bones. Don't just believe it, know it. And I'm not talking about delusional beliefs either. And there's a lot about that. Maybe I'll take a little diversion just for a few minutes here about, their delusional beliefs are, The guy that killed John Lennon, who thought that he was being told he had to kill John Lennon. Like, that's a delusional belief. And that's hurting another person in order to better yourself. That's like anything that puts you in contrast of duality like that. It's probably not an authentically known message from the universe, right? That's something in your mind that you have spun into a reality. That's different than getting a download from the universe and an energy field that will process through your brain to your heart. That is very different than what I'm talking about. So yes, there are, some delusions. Although, several cultures throughout history, several cultures have thought that people that had schizophrenic symptoms, and, you see homeless people on the street who are talking to nobody and nobody's there and they're just having a whole conversation. And we think those people are delusional. Many cultures think that those people are actually mystics, that they are actually interacting with the spirit world. Maybe they have opened themselves up. I won't say too much, but who am I to judge? Maybe they have opened themselves up so much that they're interacting all the time with the spirit world. Who knows? But a lot of cultures believe that schizophrenia is actually a sign of a mystic. I don't know. I can see how that might be, though. Yeah, and, if you open yourself up also to negative energy entities, negative energy entities exist as well. And if you open yourself up to that kind of negative entity, then that could cause you to do some destructive and self-destructive things. Maybe that's what the difference between delusional and a mystic is if you are vibing on positive or negative energy. And that would be, are you choosing to feed into the fear, feed those negative voices in your head? We all have voices in our heads, by the way. What do you think your self-talk is? That's you talking to the universe, honey. Are you choosing fear to have that conversation in fear? Are you choosing to have that conversation in love and trust? Do you believe you live in a hostile universe? Or do you believe you live in a loving, benevolent universe? You choose. The answer is always yes. Whatever you choose will be correct. And that is your belief. That is your power of belief. That's belief. You believe something. Even atheists believe something. They believe that they don't believe. I mean, that's the belief. Okay. So we all believe something. It's just some of us have it in our bones. I know it in my bones that I am of light and I can be nothing but light, and that I am divine light shining in the darkness to help lead the way for others to find their way out of their own darkness. I believe that. And so it is. So spend a little time and think about what you believe. What do you believe happens to you after you die? Do you really believe that energy just stops? Energy never stops. Have you ever studied physics and things like, have you studied about when a photon comes out of our sun, it goes through the Earth's atmosphere. Most of them go through the actual Earth because the space between atoms is, greater than, there's infinite space. So You don't stop, even if it runs in you, runs through you. So there's energy doesn't stop. And so why would you stop? You are energy. You are an energetic being on this planet that is an energetic planet, that is in an energetic solar system, in an energetic galaxy, in an energetic universe. Everything is energy, and everything is infinitely moving, growing, learning, and becoming. So that's what I believe, is that you just keep going, keep learning, keep growing, keep having experiences to test yourself. Can you love in any situation? Can you find love for yourself, for God, for yourself, and for others? I don't think that just stops here after this planet. I think that's a lesson in all life, everywhere. So take that and think about that. Think about what you believe and think about why you believe it. And maybe write it down. It helped me to write it down in my journal about why I believe all these crazy things. Why in the world do I believe? Oh yeah, because it's really happened to me. These things really happened in my lifetime. And it's important to find out what you believe. Don't wait until you're on your deathbed to have this conversation with yourself and with the universe. Don't wait till the last minute to think about it. So much better, so much richer, so much deeper when you can live it and experience it and enjoy knowing these things and believing these things in your bones. Go out there and find out what you believe. Drop some comments if you feel like letting me know. And I hope that you will like and subscribe to this video channel if you are enjoying these conversations with me, Martha, the Death Doula, talking about how studying about death can inform a better life. So thanks for joining me today to talk about the power of belief. And I hope you'll take that with you and think about it a little bit. Have a blessed day. Thanks for joining.